Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Okay, today we have lecture number 12. So, what we have to discuss? We have to discuss about how we test our website before uploading in any browser or online. Okay, then we will see first we have to discuss about the test plan. Then, what are the results after the testing? And we have to suggest some domain name, and we will discuss about the purpose of the domain name, and what kind of domain name we should have to add in our website. Then we will discuss about the website hosting concentration to make. So first we have to discuss is create a website test plan. In the test plan, we have to follow these steps. First, analyze the product, then design the test strategy, then define the test objectives. So after this, define test criteria, the resource planning, which resources we are using. Okay, then plan test environment. We have to given some environment to the tester, and we have to schedule these tests and determination test deliverable. These are the steps we have to follow. This is the flow chart. So we have to follow for the test our website. The first one is analyze the product. Is who will use the website, and what is used for, and how will it work, and what are software and hardware the product uses. In this, basically, the analyze the product means about the website, what kind of website we are making. So who will use the website? It means the audience, our audience, targeted audience. We have to keep in our mind who will use our website. In accordingly, we have to design that type of website for our client. And what is it used for? I'm giving the example of your assignment. It is for used for some appointment and doctor appointments for dental. And how it will work? It means what the features you have to add, the main functions you have to add, and how it will work. And some softwares we need it, and the hardware. Then we are start processing on making a website. These are the points we have to follow before start testing our website. So after this, we have to follow the second step is develop test strategy. In this, first we have to define the scope of testing, which means what is the scope of our website. And then we have to identify the testing type. And then the document risk and issue, then create logistics. In the first, we have to discuss about the scope. Basically, in this, we have a precise customer requirement, project budget, and product specification. In the scope of the testing, first, we have to keep our in mind customer requirements, which are the most important thing. If some customer wants to want some website and take you to make a website. So basically, first we have to write it down some important requirements of the customer. Then we have to create that type of website. Then the second point is project budget. The budget is also the main second point for this, because we must have to clear the client what budget you have, and how we will make, and then we need resources, and we have to calculate before we develop a website. And then then its specification about its specific functions and all that. We have two scope, which means in scope and out of scope. In scope means functional testing and API testing. Functional testing is basically that function we have added in our website. For example, the navigation bar, the search bar, or login, logout, or new user, create account, or whatever you are adding. For example, it's a live chat also you are adding. These functions are working correctly or not. But the API testing means communication, the communication between the client uh, through the server. And API testing is basically for the communication testing for the client to the server, and it is correctly data stored in the database or not. Out of scope items, which means that the database testing, that we are saving our data in the database, it is saved our data correctly or not. Then we are using some hardwares and any other external interface, all are included in the out of scope items. After these steps, we have identified testing type. So identified testing type, we have a unit testing, API testing, integration system, and install, uninstall, and agile testing. So first one is the unit testing. Test the smallest piece of verifiable software in the application, which means we have to install some small piece of a code in our application, and we have to test that it is functioning correctly or not. API testing tests APIs created for the application, which means that API is basically for the application, but API is also for the communication from client to the server. So it also testing include in the testing type. Then integration testing, which means it include software modules are combined and test as a group. In the unit testing, we are testing separately the small piece of the code, but integration testing, we are test as a whole or in a group. We have combined some modules and test it. In the system test, conduct a complete and integrated system to evaluate the system complaints with its specified requirements. Basically, in this, we have to test complete integrated system. And we have to also check out the specific requirements of the requirements that we need. Also, we have to evaluate the system complaints. Install and uninstall testing. In this type, the focus on what customer will need to do install or uninstall. In this, we have to show our website to a customer. Some functions the customer need, so we have are add already. But some are they don't need, they have says that these are the extra functions, so we have to uninstall or remove that software or a code from our website. Or in this, they also add some new feature in the website also. And then agile testing. Agile testing is basically testing the system using the agile methodology. The agile methodology, there are some steps that are also follow for the testing. For example, if we're talking about this testing, is first we have to plan a test, and then we have to review it, and first we have to see some develop a design, and then build and configure, test, and release. This is the basically agile process. We have to follow these steps in this methodology. And the next is document risk and issues. When we take the risk, so in this we have some risk and how we will overcome this risk. So first one is the team member lack the requirement skills for website testing. If we have a team member and they have a lack of requirement skills, they have not enough skills for testing, then we have to train our member for skill up. We can plan the training course for this. And then the second is the project schedule is too tight. It's hard to complete this project on time. Then set the test priority for each of the testing activity. Basically, we are scheduling some project and we have not enough time to complete on time, but we must have to set some testing testing website for each activity. We have to set some specific time for testing in a parallel way, so we do not delay our project. We must deliver our project on time. Test manager has poor management skill. If you think that the manager have a poor management skill, then what you have to do is plan leadership training for manager. It's basically someone is managing a testing plan. So it's important to have a plan before start testing. Then the lack of cooperation negatively affect your employee productivity. Basically, in the lack of cooperation have negative effect on employees. So encourage each team member in his task and inspire them to a great effort. So these are the risks that come in the testing and the documentation area. We have before we have to plan, then there will be no issue. And the wrong budget estimated and cost outcomes rise. There is also a problem of the cost. And to establish the scope before beginning work, pay a lot of attention on project planning and the constant track and measure the progress. Basically, we have to focus on the on that scope that is on the budget planning before start working on our website. This is the main point we have already discussed, that for planning a website. In this last point, we have to create a test logistic, which means who will test and when will the test occur. Basically, who will test the members are a skilled person that must have skills for test website. And when will the test occur? We have discussed that we have to plan a schedule, and we have to test each activity at a separately. And these are the points. Ability to understand the customer point of view. If we are talking about who will test, these are the points that must have in the that member who is testing the website. First one is ability to understand the customer point of view. The must have a strong grip on the customer requirements and can easily understand that the what customer want in the website. And then the second is strong desire for the quality. There must be the quality work. And then the attention to detail. And then the good cooperation. These are the points in that member who is going to test a website. There is a step for the defined test objective. Here is a mind map for testing a website. These are the different activities. For example, here's the web. There is a home page, the header, and the sub pages, the sidebars, and the footer. In the home page, you have include the header, sidebar, footer, and the sub pages. So in the header, what you have added here is some logo, navigation link, and social icons. These are added in the header. The test objective, when we plan this mind map before start planning a website or testing a website, then it's very easy to understand which activity we have tested already or which is not, or which is correctly working, functioning correctly or not. Then our navigation links are functioning correctly or not, the social icon we have added or not. Then we have discussing about the sidebar. In the sidebar there is a search button also, and the contact info, and the newsletter box are in the side of the website, which means the you can also add some ads advertising some products also, you can say as a sidebar. Then RSS option and recent blog post, which means recent blog post means the script you are writing on the website. Then the sub pages means that the project, the board info, the branches, and the customer. These are the sub pages you can include here. For example, you are including sub pages here, gallery, contact us, or appointment, or whatever you want to add in the sub pages. But in the footer also there is a navigation link and images and the privacy and policy. In the footer, you can also add the social icons. If you are not adding in the header, you can also add in the footer side. In the footer, the social icons for the contact, and also the information about the office location, and contact information and team members. uh, all these things you can add in the footer. After this, we have to define the test criteria. First, we have to define the suspension criteria. We have to execute the test cases. This is basically a flow chart for the test criteria. And then the suspension criteria meet. If they meet, is if the suspension criteria meet, yes, then suspend the testing. If no, then the finish the testing. And suspend the testing, and if the developer fix the fail cases, if yes, then execute test again. But if it cases fail cases, the developer not fix it, then suspend the testing. uh, First, we have basically we are following the criteria. If what if developer test it or not, or it is suspend or it's suspension. We have to see this flow chart for the testing criteria. After this, we have a resource planning. We have two resource planning, like the human resource and the system resource. And in the human resource, we are talking about the test manager. Many human resource, we're talking about the test manager that manage the whole project, and then define the project direction. And directions mean in how many days the project will end, budget, and all these things. And then the acquire appropriate resources, and test manager will also provide resources for the testing. Then the tester identify and describing appropriate test technique, tool, automation, architecture. It will identify or describe basically techniques or tools which we will use. These tools we will use for test our website, or how we can use tools to test our website. These are the techniques. These are things that can manage the tester. And then the verify and access the test approach. We are basically tester must have to knowledge about the test approach, that we are going in a proper way or not. Then tester will execute the test, log results, and report the defects. Tester will generate a report for execute the test, and the report will show the result of testing our website. And tester could be in a resource and out resource member based on the project budget. Basically, in the budget, we have to work on it. So, in resource or out resource member, the tester could be. And then after, for the task which required low scale, so recommend the outsource member to save the project cost. The tester can also hire the outsource members for the save the project cost. And developer in test, which means implement the test cases, test program, and test suites. And we have to implement all the test cases and the test programs that are using for the website testing. And then the test administration, this is the important point for the testing a website, and build up and ensure the test environment assets are managed and maintained, and support tester to use test environment for test execution. These are the test administrator should have to check or test and provide that environment or assets to manage that project. Then SQA member is basically to take in charge of quality assurance that the quality is must be high. They will check the quality and check to confirm whether the testing processing is meeting specified requirements or not. They will see the requirements briefly, and in the each step, the developer is meet that requirements that the client are given or not. The SQA members will see this. And then the system resource. The systems are that we have a server, test tool, or network or computer we are using. These are the system resource. And server install the web application under test. We have to install in the server. This include a separate web server, database server, and the application server if capable. If we are planning a testing, and then we must have a separate server for this for the website, for the web. And also if database, then it is also separate server for this and also for the application as well. The tools are automate the testing. Simultaneously, the user operation generate the test results. There are tons of test tools. You can use a project. For example, there is a Selenium and QTP, and these are the tools using for the testing a website. Then the network, you need a network include, for example, we are using a LAN or internet to simulate the real business and the user environment. The network we are using is in the system resource. And then the computer is basically the PC which often used to connect to web server, the PCs or a laptop, whatever they are using for the testing of website. And after this, the plan the test environment. Basically, what is the test environment? A testing environment is a setup of software or hardware on which the testing team is going to execute test cases. They have set some hardwares and install softwares for the test cases. And then the test environment consists of a real business and a user environment, as well as a physical environment such as a server, front, and running environment. These are the test environment that provide for the testing a website. Then we have to schedule and estimation. To create the project schedule, the test manager need the several types of input as below, which means that employee and the project deadline. We must have to meet that deadline. We have to schedule it before start working. The working days, the project deadline, and resource availability are the factor which affected to the schedule. We must have resources available on time. We must have to meet the deadline. So these are the important factor if we are scheduling our website to project our to deliver a project. Project estimation. Based on the estimation, the team manager know how long it takes to complete the project and how he can make appropriate project schedule. This is the estimation for the project schedule. And then the project risk. Understanding the risk helps the test manager add enough extra time to project schedule to deal with the risk. There is also risk come when we are working or making some website or testing or planning a website. So we must have to add some time for handling a risk also. If we are saying that we will make a website in just 15 days, so if there is a problem come, there's a resource availability, there's a less resource availability, then we must have to keep in our mind that we will take more time, or also there's issues come, so we must have to increase 5 to 10 days for the website. I'm just giving the example for the days. And so the team manager must have an idea about how he can add extra time in the schedule for handling a risk. Okay, and then the test deliverables. Test deliverable is some before, during, and then after. Test deliverable are provided before testing phase. The test plan document, the test cases document, and test design specification. We must have to deliver these plan documentation to the our customer or a client before we start working on it, because the document is the important thing. The client can easily see the documentation plan or the testing plan. So they can easily see the cases documentation and test design specification. So after before we are testing phase, we have to do this. We have to write it down on in a document form. Then the during testing phase, the test script we have to provide it, and then simulators, test data, and traceability metrics, and error logs and execution logs. These are the error coming in testing a website. And during the testing, we have must provide these deliveries. After this, after the testing, the test deliverable are provided are the test results and report, the final report, the defeated installation, and the test procedure guidelines. And then we release the note. The before testing, during, and the after testing, these are the deliverables. We have to deliver it in the testing phase. So in the second topic is result of testing. The result of testing, we have to gather some feedback. After each testing session, conduct interview or survey to collect the qualitative and the quantitative feedback from the participant. Ask about their impressions, difficult encounter, and suggestions for improvement. Feedback is for basically important for the better website planning or in testing phase. Then we have to analyze the test result. We have to review the notes and the feedback from the user testing in the testing session. Then we have to identify the common pattern, recurring issues, and area of improvement. We have to improve in it and categorize the feedback into different themes and topics. And after this, we have to implement this. We have implement changes that we need to change on the basis of the feedback or analyzing. Working on making the necessary update and modification to the website base is to identify the issues. This might involve adjusting the design, improving navigation, fix bugs, and enhance functionality. We can basically implement changes that will also improvement in our design, and a more clear design we can provide to the client. And also we can fix the bugs that are coming after the testing session. So we have discussed about the purpose of the domain name. First thing is the purpose of the domain name is to provide a human readable or memorable address. The basically human can't remember the IP addresses of each website. These are the number in numeric form. So it cannot easily for us to remember these numbers for every website. So we must have to provide a readable or memorable address to our website. In the this is basically a website identification. A domain name is commonly used to identify or locate a specific website on the internet. We can easily identify our website and locate a specific website. So it's server as a web address that user enter into the browser can access a particular site. For example, if I'm giving the example of the www.example.com. So here is the example.com is a domain name. So we can suggest some readable or memorable name for our website. So branding and recognition. Domain name play a critical role in branding and establishing an online presence. It allows business organization and the individuals to create a distinct online identity that align with their brand. A well-chosen and memorable domain name can help user to recognize and remember website more easily. So we can also suggest name as our brand name, same as our brand name to our website, so it can easily remember able from the for the user. So it can easily we can easily add email address. The domain name are also used in email address. If a company on the domain name is example.com, then can create email address like info@example.com or support@example.com, which means the employees and department, if we have our different employees and department email addresses like this. So it can easily to remember for the employees also and the user also. And it is also help to for the authentication email addresses or authentic email addresses also, and the website also. It is also good for the online marketing and SEO. Domain name can play a role in search engine optimization and online marketing effect. When we are searching something, and if it is related to the user search tags, then it have more chances to grow our website on a Google. So a well-optimized domain name that include a relevant keyword and reflect the nature of the website content can potentially improve search engine ranking and attract target traffic. So we must have to assign a domain name as the user searches with the same name and easy name, and it is also good for the search engine optimization, means the SEO. Okay, and Accessibility domain name make it easier for user to access website and online services instead of remembering the complex IPs. For example, 192.168.0.1 is the IP address for our domain, but we can't easily remember this code, this IP address for our website. So user can simply type a domain name that correspond to the desired resource. So user can easily access it. After this, we have to describe the hosting consideration to make. First is reliability and uptime. Reliability and uptime means that ensure that the hosting provider offer a reliable infrastructure and guarantee high uptime for your website. Downtime time basically can negatively impact user experience and business operations. So high time is more preferable. Then we're talking about the performance and the speed. Uh, Look for hosting solution that provide a fast page loading times and efficient server resources. Slow loading website can frustrate visitor and affect search engine ranking. So I have given you the solution of high performance and speed is you can add less media, I mean images or video on your website. So it can easily load with the high speed uh, loading, and it will take less time to load on the browser. So it will good for the visitor and also for the search engine ranking. Then there is a scalability. Consider the scalability of the hosting solution to accommodate future growth. Determine whether the hosting provider can handle increasing traffic or resource demand as your website expands. If our website can expand, we have that option. We can easily handle the increasing traffic. We must have a backup of resources for website if our website is expand, and this is good for the future growth. Then the security measures. Access the security feature provide the hosting provider such as the regular backups. Regular backup is very important in the website. And then we must have some Marvel scanning, which means we must have to install some antiviruses. And then we must have a firewalls. The firewalls are the passwords, you can say. Then no one can easily unlock our website from the server side, or the other hacker can't easily log into our website. So data protection and secure transactions are critically for maintaining user trust. So the support and the technical assistance evaluate the level of customer support and technical assistance provided by hosting company. Ensure they offer responsive support channel such as live chat. If there is some issue occurred, they can easily live chat, or we can show some phone numbers or the email address that they can issue promptly. So after this, the control and flexibility determine the level of control and customized option available. Consider whether you require specific software installation and access to server configuration, or ability to customize server setting to meet your website requirement. If we are uploading our website to the server side, we must have to some requirements we have to meet that for the server customization. And then the pricing and cost. Compare the pricing plan and the pricing model offered by different hosting provider. Consider factors such as the additional features we are adding, any or a hidden charges also. Then the hosting type, then I think you will use FTP hosting type in this. And backup and restore we have already discussed. Backup and restore we have already discussed. We must have a regular backup for the less data loss or corruption. And then the reputation and reviews. The customer must have option for the feedback or the customer support also for the user satisfaction. And then we have complaints and regulations. Um, if we are handling some sensitive data and we have to operate in a regulated industry, ensure that hosting provide complaints with the relative data protection and industry specific regulations. So in these are the points that we must have to know before we are hosting our website to meet that the server requirements for uploading into the server. So here we have discussed all these things. I hope you have understand all these points. So in the next Sunday we have a last session, last class. In this I will discuss with you about how we upload our website online and about the FTP. Or if you have any queries, you can ask in the next section also. Or you have understand all these points?
Yes, please.
Okay. So start working on the website and we will see how we can upload our website online and what is about the FTP. Okay.
Okay.